Okay, guys, as promised in the rankings video earlier this week, I'm back today to give you my rookie draft targets. Now, you might be asking yourself, why do I need targets if I already have your rankings? Can't I just draft the highest ranked player when I'm on the clock? And you can do that. That'd be totally fine. But today's video adds another layer of analysis because I'm going to be looking at the ADP from actual rookie drafts to find the rookies that I think are the best values compared to what the market is doing. So I'm excited to get into that today. My name is Paul. This is Pure Potential. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comment. Let's go. Okay, first of all, I went back to last year's rookie draft targets just to see how I did. And keep in mind that the channel had like 300 subscribers at that point, which honestly is crazy to think about. But I think I did fairly well. I had 5 targets. I had Drake May going at the 106, Brock Bowers at the 107, Bo Nix at the 202, Ricky Pearsall at the 207, and Ben Sinnott at the 304. So by my count, that's 3 big wins, 1 small win with Pearsall, and a pretty big swing and a miss on Sinnott. I will take it 4 out of 5, not too bad, but I would love to be perfect this year. And again, the goal is identifying the best values on the board according to rookie draft ADP. So that's average draft position. That's where these guys are going in the average rookie draft right now. And my source for this information is dynastydatalab.com, which is pulling directly from real sleeper leagues. So this is not arbitrary rankings like Keep Trade Cut. This is actually where these guys are going in actual rookie drafts. And I think the last time I checked, this ADP was from over 1,500 completed rookie drafts. So we've got a good bit of data now. And this is what the landscape looks like at the moment. So you can see here, for example, Cam Ward has an ADP of 103. Now, that doesn't mean he goes third in every draft, obviously, but on average, Cam Ward is the 3rd pick in rookie drafts. Ted McMillan's the 4th pick, Hunter's the 5th pick, and so on and so forth. Ultimately, every league is going to be different. It's never going to follow the ADP perfectly. You're going to see some wild reaches at times. I've already seen some of those in my leagues. But this is a really good starting point for planning out your drafts. You can ask yourself, who is likely to be available at my pick? Who should I be moving up for? Who can I trade down for and potentially get at a value? Who am I targeting? Who am I fading? And today I've got 6 rookie draft targets for you. I'm going to be back soon, hopefully tomorrow, if I can, with 6 rookie draft fades. So those are guys I'm avoiding at cost. But today we're going to look at targets. And as always, I'm doing this from a 12-team start 10 superflex PPR tight end premium perspective. We just have to, pick a standard here because it's not going to apply to every league perfectly. That's what I play for the most part. So that's my standard. You can mentally adjust this to your own league settings as needed. But the good news is that this year, if you're in a 1 quarterback league, it's not too different from superflex because it's really just Cam Ward in the 1st round. You mentally remove him. Jackson Dart early 2nd, kind of remove him as well. That most of the first 2 rounds are pretty much the same if you take those 2 guys out. So today's names should apply no matter what format you're playing. And we're going to jump in here with our first ADP target, which is Travis Hunter. At an ADP of 105, he is easily the best value on the entire board right now. But he's also a player where his actual draft slot is going to vary pretty wildly from league to league. Like some players just pretty much go where they go in most drafts. Amarian Hampton is going to go 102 or 103 in just about every rookie draft this season. But Hunter has a wide range. I've seen him go 102 in a lot of my leagues. I've also seen him go 105. But the crazy thing is that his average spot is 5. So what that means is that some people are getting him after 5. Like he's going 6, 7, 8 in some leagues. That's absolutely wild to me. Personally, I've got Travis Hunter at 102. I don't think there's any good argument for ranking him later than 4th. That's just my opinion. I laid out the whole long case for Travis Hunter in my rookie rankings video from a couple of days ago. I definitely recommend checking that video out. But here's the short version of why I am so high on Travis Hunter. He's got Matt Harmon's 3rd highest grade ever for a prospect. I don't know if you've seen the reception perception on Travis Hunter, but every single route is green because this guy excels all over the field. And he's pretty much universally loved by the film community. This is not a Matt Harmon specific thing. He just looks really good. I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't break down film and use it as part of my process, but he certainly looks awesome to me, my untrained eyes when I'm watching his tape. So he just looks like an awesome wide receiver, plays like an awesome wide receiver. His analytical profile is pretty rock solid as well. But it's even more impressive when you factor in some contextual things like he was preparing almost entirely for defense during the week and not really spending a lot of time focusing on offense. He was constantly used as a decoy on screenplays where he was not the designed read, which was basically just a way to give him a breather because he was playing 110 snaps a game. That's going to bring down some of his per route numbers. And then he also played in the most 4 and 5 wide receiver sets of any high end prospect in recent history, and playing with a lot of other wide receivers on the field that does artificially deflate your per route stats. So all that to say, I think Hunter is on the cusp of being like a Malik Neighbors level of prospect. And the Jaguars just invested their entire future into this guy and immediately came out after the draft and said he's playing wide receiver. And frankly, this trade makes zero sense if Hunter doesn't develop into a Pro Bowl caliber wide receiver, which he absolutely can do. But I do not believe that this team would go out and make this kind of move for Hunter if they did not view him as a primarily wide receiver prospect. And that's what they came out and said. I have absolutely no reason to doubt that that's their intention for him. And there's not a single worthwhile pass catcher in Jacksonville that's going to prevent him from getting opportunity. Like, it's Brian Thomas Jr., yes, but after that, Gabe Davis, De'Ami Brown, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, none of those players are owed anything. None of those players are taking looks away from Travis Hunter. There's nothing stopping him from coming out as a rookie week 1 and just having a 25% target share. He has to be good enough to do it, but if he's good enough to do it, he's going to, because it's not a problem that Thomas is there on the other side of the field when it's just two guys. Like, two guys can soak up a ton of offense. We've seen this from Chase and Higgins. We've seen it with Evans and Godwin. We've seen this time and time again. So you want Travis Hunter on your dynasty teams, and it seems like right now you can get a pretty significant discount relative to his talent. Now, if you have the 102 and you want to just stay put and take him, I absolutely do not blame you. But if you can do a little bit of homework, you can read the room in your league, potentially trade down from the 2nd or 3rd pick overall and get Hunter later with a plus on top, that seems like a massive win. It's not for the faint of heart. You don't want to get sniped. You don't want to miss out, but it absolutely can work. If you have players that want to grab Cam Ward, they want to grab the safer, quote unquote, safer wide receiver in Ted McMillan, you can trade down, pick up some future seconds, maybe even a future first in some cases, get Travis Hunter at 105, and you can take that right to the bank. All right, next up, it's going to be RJ Harvey, running back for the Broncos. He was a 2nd round pick, bit of a surprise, 60th overall. So the Broncos went up and grabbed this guy a little bit higher than people were expecting. And now he's got a rookie draft ADP of 12th overall, which is actually only one spot behind my ranking of 11. So it's not necessarily a huge difference between me and the market, but I've got him in the same tier as Colson Loveland, Tyler Warren, Quinshon Judkins, and Emeka Egbuka. So what I'm saying is he's in the same tier of talent for me, or prospects for me, as my 107. So you're getting him as the last guy in that tier, which is already great. And then you're getting a little extra discount too. And personally, I've seen him fall to 202, 203, 204 in my rookie drafts. You're going to see people take Jackson Dart over him when they need a quarterback. You're going to see Luther Burden and Matthew Golden go over him for those teams that are always chasing the wide receiver talent and are just begging for a reason to fade an older running back prospect. So you're going to see him fall into that 2nd round pretty regularly. And for some reason, Caleb Johnson also has a higher ADP than Harvey, which I just can't really get on board with. I understand that Caleb Johnson is younger, but pretty much every other factor is in Harvey's favor right now. He's got less competition for touches. He's more likely to play on passing downs and get targets. He is in a significantly better offensive environment. He's got a more running back friendly play caller. I think Caleb Johnson is going to have a good career. I like him, and I only have him a couple spots behind Harvey in my rankings. But for now, he's going to be an early down running back on one of the slowest offenses in the league. And frankly, I'd be shocked if he caught even 30 passes this season. I just don't know how useful Caleb Johnson's going to be in year 1. And for him to gain a lot of steam, a lot of value going into year 2, you either need the Steelers to finally figure out the quarterback position, which seems pretty unlikely because they always find a way to win 9 or 10 games, or you at least need Jalen Warren to be gone, which is definitely more possible. But you need one of those two things to happen, because if he's going to be locked in again to a 1st and 2nd down role on a middling offense, I just don't see how he's going to gain significant value. And I could be totally off on this. I just think I'll be able to trade a late first for Caleb Johnson next offseason if I really, really want to be invested in him long term. I don't think I have to pay that cost up front because I just don't see what he's going to do to like massively grow in value this year. Again, could be wrong. Maybe Jalen Warren gets hurt week 1 and Caleb surprises everybody. He becomes a total workhorse. It's possible. But I think Harvey is set up to potentially be the highest scoring rookie running back after Ashton Genty this season. Like if you forced me to pick today who I think that guy's going to be, it would be RJ Harvey, because running back isn't like wide receiver, where even the good rookie wide receivers need time to adjust to the NFL. This is a plug and play position. If the opportunity is there, you can take a rookie running back, you can throw them in, especially someone like Harvey, who is an older running back. He's ready to go. And people have cited like pass protection as a concern for him. I don't think that the Broncos have a better third down option on the roster because Jaleel McLaughlin is too small. He can't pass protect. Estime can probably do the pass protection, but he has absolutely no juice. He's not a very good receiver. I still think Harvey is like their most likely guy to play third downs. But even if he doesn't, Bo Nix checks down plenty on first and second down. I looked into it this morning. I posted this tweet. Javonte Williams was targeted 70 times in 2024, 5th most among running backs. 55 of those targets came on first or second down. Your pass pro concerns for RJ Harvey are a non-issue. So this guy's going to get plenty of looks on early downs, and he should be playing on a lot of early downs because, again, there's no competition there. Sean Payton is gushing about him. I think he's going to come right out and produce at least RB2 numbers. So he strikes me as a player that could get off to a hot start, quickly rise in dynasty value, and I absolutely love him at his 112 ADP right now. All right, I know a lot of you out there watching are new to the channel. You're coming out of the woodwork to prepare for your rookie draft. I just wanted to take a moment to say, stick around, hit the subscribe button. If you're enjoying this video so far, subscribe to the channel because the best dynasty managers know this is a year-round game and there is always a new edge to exploit in Dynasty. I've got new videos out every single week talking about buys and sells, dynasty strategy, rankings, all that good stuff. So again, stick around, hit subscribe, join the Discord if you want. There's a link in the description, but I'm going to be here January to December to help you dominate your dynasty league. And we're going to go to our next ADP target, which is Bhayshul Tuten, running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They took him with the 2nd pick in the 4th round, and his current rookie draft ADP of 210 puts him after guys like Cam Scatterbo, Jack Besh, Jalen Milroe, Shadur Sanders. I think it's pretty hard to overstate the upside here with Tuten. Really, once we get to the back half of the 2nd round, that's all I'm looking for in rookie drafts because the opportunity cost of these late seconds and into the 3rd and 4th is just so low. He's a 206 in my rankings, but I've got him in the same tier as Trey Harris and Jaden Higgins at 204 and 205. So I view 210 as a pretty significant discount on Tuten, who absolutely smashed the combine, 4.3 240. 40-inch vertical. This guy's crazy athletic and explosive, and his production profile in college is like sneaky good, a little bit under discussed possibly. This is from Scott Barrett's running back rankings article on fantasypoints.com. He says, Tuten leads all power conference running backs from this year's class in 2 of my favorite metrics, career yards after contact per attempt and career missed tackles forced per touch. Both marks rank top 12 of any power conference running back this past decade and 95th percentile or better in each category. The only other power conference running backs this past decade with 95th percentile or better marks in both categories are Bijan Robinson, Travis Etienne, Kenneth Walker, and Javonte Williams. So that sounds pretty darn good. He's also an elite athlete who breaks tackles at an elite rate. He's got the 4th best explosive run rate in the entire class. And while he wasn't very efficient as a receiver at Virginia Tech, he did crack a 13% reception share in his best season, which is totally solid. And his receiving numbers at North Carolina A&T, which is where he started out his career, it's an FCS school. So, level of competition is low, but his receiving numbers there were absolutely otherworldly. 17% reception share, 2.15 yards per route run. So I think he can do that. I think he can pretty much do everything you wanted to do. He's got every trait you want to see in a running back, especially when you're picking at the back end of the 2nd round. But when you account for the landing spot, he becomes an even more appealing bet, like significantly more so. And this is ultimately what puts him ahead of Cam Scatterbo for me, which is where I think I'm going to get the most pushback on this. Scatabo, good prospect on paper as well. Crazy production in 2024, high explosive run rate, just like Tuten, which is funny because they're built totally different. I do like Tuten more just stylistically, like how he plays, but really the deciding factor for me is landing with Liam Cohn. Think about last season. He gets Bucky Irving to 1,500 total yards as a rookie on just a 45% snap share. So yes, the Jaguars have ETN and they have Tank Bigsby, but Tuten doesn't need to be a bell cow running back because Cohn knows how to scheme up touches for his guys. He knows how to get the most out of a running back. And this is the running back that they went out and got. They've got quarterback figured out in Jacksonville. They've got 2 high-end wide receivers. I just see an extremely high ceiling for this offense, and that's ultimately the tiebreaker for me between Tuten and Scatabo. So yeah, I'm aggressively pursuing Bhayshul Tuten at 206 or later in your rookie drafts. And then we're going to go to Kyle Williams. He goes 3rd round to the Patriots, 69th overall. He's got a rookie draft ADP right now of 302, which is 5 spots after my ranking of 209. Honestly, I think the default sleeper ADP is driving this to some extent, but he's just way down the board. Nobody was really talking much about Kyle Williams before Chris Sims ranked him as his pre-draft wide receiver 2, but he's been a big riser ever since. Matt Harmon and Hayden Winks both really like him on film, and his analytical profile is not terrible either. You got this from Ron Stewart, who says Kyle Williams is one of 10 wide receivers since 2017 to hit 2+ yards per team pass attempt as a true freshman. So you've got him on a list here with Josh Reynolds, Xavier Worthy, Rondale Moore, Corey Davis, Calvin Ridley, Marquise Brown, Christian Kirk, Rashad Bateman, Jaden Reed. There's a lot of solid NFL players here. You might not see those as like mega ceiling comps, but when you're talking about a late 2nd round pick, a guy who was a 3rd round wide receiver pick, those are pretty solid comparisons. Honestly, the biggest issue for Williams is that he didn't really improve much across his college career. That would be the main red flag, at least from an analytical standpoint. But again, he gets decent draft capital. He should have immediate opportunity in New England because Stephon Diggs is the only real wide receiver competition on that team. I'm sorry to the Demario Douglas truthers. I'm sorry to the Jalen Polk truthers if there's any of those left. But he has a chance to be a week 1 starter for them. And playing with Drake May, I'm absolutely intrigued at this cost. And next up, we've got Terrance Ferguson, who was a big draft riser after he crushed the combine. He ends up going 46th overall to the Rams. He was the 4th tight end drafted overall. His rookie draft ADP of 307 seems way too low to me, but it does include non-tight end premium leagues. I don't know what percentage at this point of rookie drafts are non-tight end premium. It's fair to say his ADP is more like early 3rd, at least from what I've seen in a typical tight end premium league, but that's still a value to me. I've got him at the 211. I could even see taking him a little bit higher. So I think he's a great value right now. Again, he's a crazy athlete, 9.32 relative athletic score. He ran a 4.63 40 at 247 pounds. And this is something that correlates to fantasy success. I couldn't find the article where I had seen this originally, but I've heard JJ Zacharyson talk about it. I've heard of other people talk about it, and it just intuitively like is true that highly athletic tight ends are just disproportionately more likely to put up these big fantasy seasons. Like Brock Bowers, crazy athlete. George Kittle, crazy athlete. Even like David Njoku, Mark Andrews, these guys are well above average athletes at the position. And I mean, it does make sense. Like if you're going to throw the ball to your tight end instead of your wide receivers, you're going to want those tight ends to be able to do special things when they have the ball in their hands. And Ferguson did it in college. He actually had the 2nd highest yards after catch per reception among all FBS tight ends last season. So this athleticism, it's not just on the track, right? It's not just at the combine. This translated to the field. And I love the situation for him in LA. You've got Tyler Higbee there, sure, but he's 32 years old. He's post ACL tear now. He's on the last year of his contract, and the team just invested highly in Ferguson. So how does that reflect on what they think of Tyler Higbee? If anything, the success that we've seen from Higbee over the years should actually make you more excited for what McVay can do with this new toy that they've picked out. I don't think he's going to light it up year 1, at least not if Puka and Adams are both healthy, but year 2 and beyond, it's wheels up. The ceiling for him, again, is plenty high, given his draft capital, given his athletic traits. And let's go ahead and wrap this thing up today with another Ram in Jarquez Hunter. Running back, goes in the 4th round, pretty much as high as he could have been expected to go because he was really off the radar for most of the draft process. I thought he was going to be like a 7th round pick, maybe a UDFA. He ends up going 4th round to one of the most fantasy-friendly running back spots on the board. His ADP actually doesn't show up on Dynasty Data Lab. I have to assume this is a glitch and that he's not actually going undrafted in rookie drafts. He certainly hasn't gone undrafted in any of mine, but his value on Fantasy Calc is right next to Dylan Gabriel and Isaac Tesla, who both go in the mid fourth. So I'm assuming that's really close to his ADP, somewhere in the mid fourth. I've drafted him in the late fourth. And I view Hunter as a clear third round caliber rookie pick. Like I would take him in the third round every single time if I had the opportunity. Again, he goes in the fourth round of the NFL draft, same round as Bhayshul Tuten, same round as Cam Scatabo. His profile looks awesome. He's got top 10 marks in this class in missed tackles forced per rush, explosive run rate, yards after contact per attempt. Yes, I know Kyren Williams is there. Yes, Blake Corum is there. Corum didn't earn himself anything last year. He didn't earn any extra playing time over the course of the year. I think this pick is an indication that the team is not that impressed with him and is looking for a new backup running back. And as for Kyren Williams, like, yes, he continues to soak up touches at an absurd rate, despite being a fairly pedestrian running back by any like objective measures. Obviously, Sean McVay loves the guy for some reason, but they do pick another running back here. No contract extension has materialized for Kyren after that was like a kind of an early offseason discussion point. Hasn't gotten done. And there's always risk of injury. So this is a great offensive environment. And the floor of a late round pick like this is always going to be 0. So I say you just shoot for the upside. And I don't really see anybody on the board with more upside than Jarquez Hunter, because if he gets the chance to fill in even for a few games, he genuinely just might not give the job back. Now, just to wrap up today's video, I want to quickly touch on my rookie draft hotspots. These are some pick ranges that I'd be actively trying to trade into leading up to or even during my rookie drafts, because I think you're getting the best value on the players that you can select there. And the first one's going to be the 104 to the 106 range. Obviously, I highlighted Travis Hunter as a target today, and that's right in line with where his ADP is. But even if you find yourself in a league where Travis Hunter goes 2 or 3, you're sitting on some very good options in the 104 to 106 range. You can get Ted McMillan, who I really like as that 4th overall prospect in my rankings. You can get Cam Ward, highly safe, insulated quarterback prospect, or worst case scenario, and I'm saying worst loosely here, you get Trevion Henderson, who I've got in the same tier as Cam Ward, and I view him as a clear 106 tier break before we get into 7, 8, 9. So I love the 104 to 106 range. And then the next spot I'd be looking at is the 201 to the 203. That feels like a great value. Technically in a tier behind my 107 to 111 players, but it's not a big gap. Like it really is a pretty small gap between those tiers. You're looking at a potential to get an RJ Harvey or even a Colson Loveland if they fall to 201, which has happened. Or you're looking at Jackson Dart, first round quarterback, Caleb Johnson, another running back I like a good bit, or you're getting Luther Burden or Matthew Golden. Those are all good prospects, arguably like late first round caliber type of prospects in a different class, and you're getting them in the second round. So I really like the early seconds right now. It's actually one of my bigger regrets that I don't have a lot of early seconds across my leagues, but I've been trying to trade into that range. I think that it will serve you well. And then finally, I'm going to highlight the 210 to the 212 range, where you have the potential to get 3 of the guys I talked about today. Best case scenario in my mind is Bhayshul Tuten. His ADP is right there at 210, so totally doable. If you don't get him, you can see Jack Besh fall to that spot. Love him as a pick there. I have him just behind Tuten. Or you can get Kyle Williams, or you can get Terrance Ferguson, 2 guys I talked about today that I'm also targeting in my rookie drafts. And the best thing about these picks is that they're not that expensive to get. Like you can potentially trade away a Brian Robinson type or something like that, maybe a Calvin Ridley, and you can get into one of these picks and get a rookie that I think has fairly high upside. So just to recap, 104 to 106, 201 to 203, 210 to 212. Those are kind of my favorite pockets of the draft right now. Anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you enjoy my Dynasty content, make sure you subscribe. We are marching on to 7,000. Hope we can get there soon. I'm going to be back very soon with my rookie draft fades, and I hope to see you then.